And a reminder, the first 30 minutes of this podcast are available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and many of the major platforms. The full podcast is available at www.patreon.com/SRB Media. SRB Media.
Good evening, Susan.
Good evening, Gabby.
Good evening, all, and welcome to our weekly podcast, Terry Curran's The Curran View with the Isle of Hillsborough, Mr. Terry Curran. Steady away, son. We kept dropping off then. I don't know what's going on. Have we got a gremlin in the system?
What happened, Gabby? Once I took my earphone bit out, it automatically cuts off. I forgot all about it.
Well, Tottenham Hotspur automatically cut out, I think, about every 4 minutes against Newcastle on Sunday. That was the most ridiculous game that I've seen. We'll be talking about that a little bit later in the podcast. But what magic moments have you sourced for us, T, over the last 14 days?
Well, the first 25 minutes of Newcastle, either Tottenham were absolutely ludicrous or Newcastle were absolutely sublime. I think there was a bit of both to it, but it's that Ishak's goal. Yeah. Absolutely. It went like one of Peter Lorimer's shot all those years ago.
Yeah, he looks a very, very good. But yeah, I did. Yeah, to be fair, I got in. I was working on Sunday, and I got in. One of my granddaughters was watching Peppa Pig downstairs, so I've come up in the bedroom, and Sam's getting ready. She's going out. I turned the telly on. I'm blimey 3-0, and Tom had gone out to pick Ruby, so he wasn't very happy. I gone 3-0 to Tottenham. He said, "You're having a laugh, ain't you?" I said, "No, it's 4-0. He said, "No." I said, "No, you're right. It's 5 now." 20 minutes, and it was 5-0. So he was fuming. He missed all 5 goals.
But when we pick these magic moments, we say. I say it every week. How do you? Because we missed last week with Janet not being particularly well, and how I pick or try and pick one out. It's not just because there is that, not only the goals, but the saves, and there's great passing and great movement. It's just fantastic. The ball, the guy hit outside of his foot.
Yes.
Absolutely split the defence wide open. Yeah. You think, brilliant. I've seen players do it. I've done it myself. But it gets recognition, but it never gets the recognition like a goal does it?
No, it doesn't, because ultimately it's the goal and the goals that people watch the game of football for, and the result pretty much. But I like to watch them magic moments, and whether a player does something magical on the ball that doesn't result in a goal or not is irrelevant for me. That's the magic moment, and I love to watch players just pop up all over the pitch and just create special moments. But when you look at that pass and then he's bagged it in. My number one magic moment, I'm going straight to the top. Sounds like a style council from about 1984, shout to the top, was Kevin De Bruyne's goal, and his first goal last night. And I'm saying to Tom, he's gone the wrong way. He should have rolled in. What a goal! What a goal!
When you look at De Bruyne, and what I mean by this, different to what other people mean by it, because also when he wants to play, he can play, but when he's on his game. He's unstoppable, isn't he?
He's world class. He really is world class. He will get into, and when we say world class, for me, the definition of a world class player is a player that will get in any team in the world, and he is world class. Kevin De Bruyne.
Yep.
I think
exactly.
I think whatever attribute. It's a great
point.
Yeah, whatever attribute you look at, I think he's just absolutely top drawer. And again, Haaland last night. Man City really could have scored 8 goals against Arsenal. We are going to talk about that game a little bit later in the podcast too. I also want to talk about another magical moment, which was Burnley winning the league at Blackburn. And the captain took a blown up cup towards the Blackburn fans, and it didn't go down very well, did it?
Yeah, I see why they do it, but it does cause all sorts of controversy, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Why do they do that?
And it gives the Woke the. Why can't you do it? They've won the league title. They've won it at the arch rivals Blackburn.
Yeah.
you know, and I see the funny side of that.
Yeah, I do. But football fans don't see the funny side, do they?
No.
They ain't got a sense of humour. The opposition haven't got a sense of humour. I mean, if that was me and I was a Blackburn fan and it was Burnley, I'd stand there, I'd applaud them and gone, well done.
Yeah, because they have deserved it, haven't they?
Absolutely, they've been fantastic. I mean, I was hoping that they were going to win the previous game and then Blackburn were going to give them the Guard of Honour. That would have gone down even better. But, there is that tribalism in football, but it is a little bit of taking the rise, having a laugh, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like the player that gets dog's abuse and then he cups his ear to the crowd when he scores a goal, and then the crowd's going, he's bringing a game in a disrepute. It's an absolute disgrace. You've been giving him dog's abuse for 60 minutes.
I know. Well,
and that's football. And you were on the receiving end of that, Terry, many times during your career.
I bet nobody in football got as much stick as me.
Nobody in football has collected so much money from a game of football that you did at the Boxing Day Massacre in 20 and 50 pence pieces, T.
Yeah, well, I had a good night that night.
And Tyrone Mings' flick-on headed goal against Fulham. I thought, I look at Tyrone Mings, he takes a lot of stick, he's took a lot of stick. I thought he was absolutely fantastic at the back for the Villa on Tuesday night. I went down with Tom and Kieran to watch the game. If it would have been at home and I was watching the game, I'd have probably turned it over and watched EastEnders or fallen to sleep. They were awful.
What is it we managers? I mean, you got Gerrard, for some unknown reason, couldn't get the best out of him, didn't think he could play. And it was causing Gerrard problems as a manager, wasn't it? When you think about it. A lot of controversy in paper and things like that. New manager comes in, and again, he looks a different player.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And I've told you this before. If a manager likes you as a player, it's a massive, because what the manager doesn't do, if every player makes a mistake.
Of course they do.
Every player makes a mistake. Yeah. But I guarantee you, certain managers hold a grudge with certain players. I've seen it.
And I said to Tom, that was the difference, because I don't see many live games of football. I work every Saturday. So if it's a Sunday game or a night game and I finished early and Tom's got a ticket, I go down to Villa and watch Villa with him. But I thought that Villa made less mistakes in that game. They kept the ball in play more often than what they've done in previous seasons. I thought the passing was better. I thought the midfield was poor. They were hiding. I don't like that in midfield players. I like midfield players to be brave. And when I say brave, I don't mean smashing into tackles and going in two-footed. That ain't brave. Being brave is wanting the football in tight.
Wanting the football,
absolutely.
And taking the risk.
Yes.
What is taking the risk? What I mean by taking the risk, not taking the risk and keep giving the ball away, trying to put that ball through the killer pass on.
Yeah.
Right. The great players put the killer pass on and get it through.
Absolutely.
Be brave.
Yeah.
Don't underrate it. Learn to get the judgment and the weight of the ball right.
Absolutely. And again, we are going to be talking about Manchester City a little bit later in the podcast as well, because they put that weight of the pass better than any team I've seen. And in my opinion, Man City are the best team in the world. And Raspadori's goal for Napoli that won the game at Juventus 1-0 the weekend on Sunday evening.
By the way, I watched Napoli and I watched AC Milan and Napoli.
What did you think of Napoli in those two games?
Well, they had chances, but I see where you're coming from with AC Milan. They do look two good teams.
Yeah, they do.
But what I say about the Italians, they know how to make it difficult for teams.
Don't they just?
Great chances. But I'm very impressed with Napoli and AC Milan. I'm very much so.
In Special K really reminds me of Jack Grealish, and I know that this season, particularly before the World Cup, there were the idiots that were saying, "Oh, Jack ain't the player, and what a waste of £100 million." Now they're saying, "What a great player, and he's worth £100 million."
Let me stop you there. The people what were saying that were the ones what were saying that about Jack at Villa.
Exactly, they're idiots.
Yeah. I won't go as far as that. It's just jealousy and wokeness.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
all it is.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, anybody with any modicum sense can see the natural talent. I'll not use Jack of that type of player what's got the ability to ride tackles.
Yep.
And they'll say, well, he goes down more often than not. He goes down. Down because it's a bad tackle.
Yep.
They don't mention, like I've just said to you, the ones where they just ride, right, and gets away, right. He's got this natural ability to be brave on the ball, to find that pass. I would like to see him get more goals, but he always reminds me of me. He gets a lot of pleasure of making a goal than scoring a goal.
Absolutely, he's a goal provider. He's not a goal taker. He's got a goal taker, and we were talking about this on the podcast last year. And Manchester City would be better if they had that goal scorer, not a centre forward that you whack the ball up to, but a goal scorer, and they've got that in Haaland. How people can say that Man City are better without Haaland, again, I laugh at that because I think it's a stupid comment. And Tom commented last night, he says, Grealish at Villa would have run, he'd have took his back on and he'd have made something happen. And I said, yes, he would. And last season he would have done that because he got no centre forwards. But what Jack done is he saw Haaland free and he checked inside. He gave Haaland the ball. Haaland took the ball on and he nearly and should have scored. I mean, he had the chances to score probably 4 or even 5 goals last night. But again, that's the difference with Jack now. He's releasing that ball to players better.
Alan will always score goals, but I guarantee you one thing. Alan loves people like Jack Grealish.
100%.
You know, Jack could score more goals, but he's like me.
Yeah.
He gets a bigger thrill out of making a goal. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
The goals he sets up for people, like Alan and the others, you know, it's unbelievable. Whereas Mahrez, who I think is a great, great player, will take more shots at goal. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the difference.
And again, I think with Phil Foden as well, Foden will take more shots at goal, whereas Jack would rather, if he sees a player in a better position, 100% Jack will give him a slide rule pass and it's bang back of the net. And that's the difference in the mentality of the players.
Going back to Villa and the way of playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote about this the other day. When I was playing, or before I was playing professional, the top teams had 6 or 7 good players in the teams.
Yeah.
In the middle of the tables had 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And the ones at the bottom had round about 1 or 2. You take Chelsea. They've had to knock a dressing room through.
Yes.
To accommodate all the players.
Yeah.
They all keep going on about Guardiola. Please, don't take this as though I don't respect your opinion, because I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody's got entitled to an opinion. What Guardiola does to get them to play like they do for each other, right? To get a balance of the team right, and to get it right more often than not when they sign players. That's an art, signing players to fit into your team.
Correct.
You look at Chelsea, they spent 600 million, and I'm having a go at Chelsea. I'm trying to explain to people, they've just spent 600 million pounds in the January transfer window, right? And it looks a shambles.
Yeah, 100%.
It looks a shambles.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Right? And I'm so disappointed in Frank Lampard. And again, it didn't criticism, because I want Gerrard and Lampard to try and put the English coaching, excuse me, to put the English coaching on the map. But I think we're 2 decades away.
Yeah, I do. We may even be longer. We may even be further back than that too. But you're right. The hardest job in football is managing an elite side. And people are going, no. Anyone can do that with a good player.
No, they can't.
No, they absolutely can't.
People always say to me,
it's ridiculous.
To this day, people say to me,
I know, it's stupid, isn't it?
What made Cloughie great? No favouritisms.
Yeah.
None. It didn't matter who it was. I've seen managers have the favourites. Choose what they do. Right? They'll cover for them.
Yeah.
Right? But he knew how to handle that player.
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson did the same. Anybody else would have got rid of Cantona at Man United.
100%.
Right? Dave Sexton would have got rid of him. Tommy Dock would have got rid of other players because they would have buttled. But Ferguson is that strong, determined minded to say, right, no, he's done it wrong. And he spoke to him in a manner, right, that he knew, because he's a match winner.
Yeah.
And other players may get frustrated, but they know that it weren't a favouritism with him, right? But when a player comes into the team and is doing well, Fluffy would leave that player in. John McGovern is a prime example. Martin O'Neill and Robbo used to say to me, why does he pick John McGovern? I said, because he does something none of us else can do. Fluffy tells him to keep that ball simple. Anybody else would turn around and say, because what he would do, Fluffy, he said to John McGovern, young man, I didn't buy you because you could play football. I bought you to stop other people playing football. Now, when you get the ball, give it to Robertson or Curran.
Yeah.
You know, and that's an art. That's an art.
Absolutely.
It would upset John, because it's like when somebody's saying that you're not a good footballer, nobody likes to hear that.
Yeah.
So who you are. Right? And that's the difference with the elite managers. They know how to get the best out of them. They know how not to overtrain them. And they know not to worry about the opposition. Absolutely. And when they don't worry about the opposition, the players don't. They go in and enjoy it more.
Absolutely too. The only other manager at Man United that wouldn't have got rid of Eric Cantona would have been Big Ron. He'd have gone, hey, big fella, what was all that about? Well, if that was me, I'd have gone and twatted him as well.
I like Ron, but I would imagine Ron would have had favourites. Fluffy didn't. Guardiola done. And that's a good thing about Guardiola. He's got that power. Who's who it is, whether it's Jack or Messi, if he thought he's causing me a problem, you're going. I mean, the kid who we sent to Bayern Munich.
Yes, Cancelo.
He's a hell of a player.
Good player, great player.
Go. And that's another art of being an elite manager.
They're a better team without Cancelo, by the way, and I think he's a great player. I think he's one of the best backs in the world, but not at Man City, because Man City are a team. Guardiola has got that team ticking. They're all superstars, but there's no superstars. No one's bigger than that team. You all work hard. You all pass the ball. I've noticed that with Cancelo. Cancelo wouldn't pass to Jack. He wouldn't play the ball into Jack. All he would do is play for himself, get crosses in, try and get assists. And I think that's the reason that Pep took him out of the team. I think that Nathan Ake isn't as good a player technically as Cancelo, but he's better for the Manchester City team than what Cancelo was.
Well, he's not a fact for me, but the team itself is had another unbelievable season. I think he's a good centre back. Is Ake.
Brilliant.
But whatever happens, it worked for Manchester City and Guardiola. Absolutely,
the treble too. I mean, I remember listening to TalkSport when Manchester United were still in all they were insinuating that they were in the championship race. There wasn't, but it was just the bias on TalkSport. They definitely were in the League Cup. They won it. They were definitely in the Europa League. They got knocked out by Seville, and they're definitely in the FA Cup because they're in the final against City. But they were all going on about this quadruple for Manchester United. There's more chance of me, I don't know, doing anything to swimming the River Severn, and I can't bloody swim. They got no chance, but City will win the treble.
Right. Look, I looked at City, and I've looked at all the people. I looked at some of my friends have wrote this about the manager of Man United. This is my opinion of it. No, I'm wrong, right, or I'm wrong. This is my opinion. What he's done at Man United is brilliant.
Yes, he is. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll tell you the reason why he's brilliant. Because at times, not only have they done well or played well, they've been shocking.
Yeah.
And he's got the best out of a bunch what they've overpaid for players. He's got them into a Champions League position. Now, is that enough for me? No. But it's important that if you've got the right manager, what can sign the elite players to suit your system,
Yep.
You have to be in that Champions League.
Mm.
You get away with it for a season with Man United because of its fame it has throughout the world.
Yep.
Right? At times they play some good football, but at times they've been awful. They've won a League Cup. And I don't give a damn who you are. I would talk from the greatest manager I ever played with. Whatever you do, try and win every game.
Yes.
And it doesn't make any difference. Whatever trophy you won a trophy.
Yep.
And Cloughie always wanted to win any trophy.
Yep.
Italian Anglo Cup, League Cup, whatever it was. And he won League Cup about 4 times at Forest.
Yeah, and Texaco Cup as well. That was his first one.
So he's done well, right? Yes, they're expensive players, but when you look at them, some of them, they look absolutely shocking at times. Right? Now we can build on it. It's like Arteta. Everybody wanted Arteta gone. Yet he won the FA Cup, and he's only a young kid, him still.
Absolutely.
As managers goes, to take on Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, and to get that close, I think, right, it's brilliant. But everybody cannot win. But if you can keep improving and get to that stage where, right, you're going head to head, like Liverpool did for 2 years, 3 years, but then they're falling away. Pep Guardiola has been there battling out since day one. Yes, he spent money, but so has Liverpool, so has Chelsea.
1-0 Man United, Sancho. Great strike.
Man United.
Yeah, great strike, Sancho. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Superb. But again, you're right, with this United team, they've been heads and tails, haven't they? They've been black and white, they've been good, they've been bad. But I think that largely when they've had their top players and their first 11 that Ten Hag believes is their best 11, I think Man United are a good team. I just don't like going back. I don't like the bias that you get. I think if you're going to be a presenter, I think you have to put your colours away at the microphone and talk absolute sense. I did that with
Sheffield Wednesday, and congratulations to Sheffield United.
Yes, well done, promoted again.
Promotion, right?
Great job, Ecky's done, Enno.
Yeah, brilliant. But like I've said to you, and you can all, Ten Hag has changed his philosophy. He worked under Guardiola.
Yeah.
Ajax tried to play like the Manchester Cities. Make no mistake, when he gets the players in, that's how they will be played, Manchester United.
I don't think they need that many players in.
To go, but it only needs maybe 1 or 2 players to switch it, to give them that confidence to go on and play that type of football, and then they start to add the real quality again.
Okay, you put Harry Kane in that front 3 with Rashford the one side, Sancho the other side. That's a bloody good top 3. I think he needs to bring in a couple of midfield players and a couple of defenders.
Thing in football,
and an elite goalkeeper.
The thing in football is having the world-class goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
And then you've got to have the really elite players like the Zabis and Iniestas and Brownes of this world, and the Suns. Once you start to get them in midfield,
absolutely,
get up, support the really quality players, right, and pick up the loose balls if they come about, and get back and help the good defenders. United haven't got that yet. That's with a lack in midfield. They're not really. I mean, they're good players, but would you call them like a De Bruyne type of player? No. But he knows that. Yeah. He knows that.
He can only work with what he's got. I tell you what, how brilliant is that Nottingham Forest? Naves, the goalkeeper from Paris Saint-Germain, was it? What a great goalkeeper he looks.
Well, I'll tell you what, Forest looked well last night.
Yeah, they did. I mean, brilliant result, 3-1. But what's happened to Dean Henderson? I mean, is he injured or is he just dropped off a cliff? What's happened there with that lad?
Well, I'm like you. Because you're looking at all different things, you don't see much of certain clubs there.
No, not at all.
But I don't know if he's been injured or not. But there's some. I mean, when did they get him from Paris Saint-Germain?
I think he was in the
January
window. Yeah, January window. And I think he started every game. I think he's been absolutely tremendous from what I've seen. He looks a great goalkeeper. And as you say, you've always said that you need that elite goalkeeper. And you need to build on that back.
Get a lead manager, right? Look at Pep Guardiola. How many coming to my head, goalkeepers did he get by before he got that one?
Quite a few, because
And I agree with everybody, right? He spent, he didn't buy Paul Hart, not Paul Hart.
It's Joe Hart. He got rid of Joe Hart, didn't he?
Hart,
yeah.
Right, but he bought the other keeper, about £30 million. What didn't? But he knew he weren't right for him.
Yeah.
That's brave to do that.
Yeah, he's an absolute superstar, and he just buys in players. The player, if he can't get him at the time, at the price, like with Mahrez, he'll wait his time, he'll go back in and he'll get him, because Pep identifies exactly what he needs, exactly what he wants, and he'll go and get it, and they have to
100%.
work in the framework that Pep Guardiola puts his team out to meet those standards. And if you don't shape up, he'll ship you out. For me,
Choose who
best
you are.
team in the
Choose
world,
who you are.
and they will win the treble. I'm hoping that they win the treble, because I think that they deserve to win the treble. And I hate all of this. I didn't like this about Arsenal bottle jobs. Absolute garbage. No. Arsenal have been fantastic.
They're entitled to the opinion.
Fantastic.
They're entitled to, you see what I've wrote about it.
Yeah, I know, I saw that, yeah. But I think Arsenal have been brilliant. They've just come up against sides that are battling to stay up. A team like Man City, when they're cutting it, when they're on top form, I don't care who you are, you won't live with Man City. They're brilliant.
Listen to this, what I'm going to say to you.
Go on then.
You're going to get that because they're being clear.
Yeah.
Still lacking that little bit of experience or quality.
100%. 100%.
What does everybody say about Guardiola now?
In what terms?
I'll tell you. Well, you they'll
say if he don't win the Champions League, and I've heard this. If he don't win the Champions League, I'd sack him.
But now
you having a laugh?
You've answered the question.
Which when you where you were going.
He's not a great manager if he doesn't, because that's what he was bought for.
Yeah, absolute garbage.
Listen to all the great managers. What's managing this country? Winning the Premier League is the most important.
Of course it is.
Right? A cup game, whatever cup game it is, a League Cup final, an Anglo or Cup final, or that fake trophy final, what Bolton and Plymouth played in.
Yeah.
Right? One bad decision by a referee or a linesman. Don't take that as I'm knocking the linesman. I'm just telling you one bad decision.
No, you're absolutely spot on. Yeah, you're out.
Like a player could cost you the game.
Yeah.
Right? A goalkeeper making having a bad game, or a player making a mistake could cost you that game. The league title, it goes over to 36 games.
38.
And so people, that's why I say, Jack used to say to me, listen, I said, Jack, let me tell you something. I'll tell you word for word what you said to me. I don't agree with everything what you say, Jack. That's why I am like I am. Everybody turned, all these experts turned around and said that David Silva, right?
Oh, no.
Never work in Premier League. He's too small. He's too lightweight.
Yeah.
They were all slagging off. Ireland early on.
Yeah, I know. You listen to all these experts.
Praising him early on, and then he's not right for. Then they all turned around and said they didn't need him. They got to have a plan B. Yeah. Anybody can change their mind, Gabby.
You don't need a plan B. As you always say, improve plan A. That's what Pep does.
Improve plan A and improve the players.
That's what Pep does.
If you can't improve them, get rid.
Pep does not have a plan B.
I said to you this season, last season he was at Cooper. This season I told you Ryan Lowe at Preston.
Yep.
And he's had a brilliant season in a sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's his first full season really now. Right? And his downfall has been his own form.
Yeah. They'd hardly scored a goal early, didn't they? Early doors, they'd hardly scored a goal at home.
You know, so I still believe in him to go on to be a successful manager. Right? Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a elite manager. I give you a team to watch for this year. And if it weren't for the poor home performances, they would have gone up. They would have gone up or at least been in the playoffs.
They still could, I believe, couldn't they? I think they're still there or thereabouts.
When you look at what he's done at Burnley,
phenomenal.
Right? He's changed that round. This type of player, the team, the philosophy round, right?
Yeah.
And I screamed out for Everton to buy it, to get him before before
Dosh.
Daesh. And it's not, Gabby, you don't see me slag managers off.
No, not at all.
Like
But I think Dyche is a backward
Or I'm
step for Everton.